Schneider?
Not until we're out in public.
Oh, okay.
Not until then.
Hello. Hey, you know what we're planning on doing right now? We're gonna roam around.
It's a really cool thing to do.
What did you say just a second ago, Erica? What?
Erica, are you gonna be cold tonight? You're gonna be fine?
Yes.
You're gonna be perfectly...
The TBH. She's a very inane hybrid. Watch out, she's got sharp teeth. Used for catching people. Preferably on corners, mate.
Shut up, Ben. I have no idea. Oh my god.
Say a couple words, Jesse.
Say what?
You're walking through the streets of Rome.
Well,
what are you
being
feeling?
that we're disgusting and filthy and I just ran into someone, it's lovely.
Did you see those cute guys in the uniforms?
Oh, they're so hot. I've never seen such hot men.
Why don't you turn around and videotape them walking
There's one
by?
right there.
All stinky. It's gross.
It's not quite out yet.
Yeah. They an EV, it's EV1, but it's totally electric, and then they have one that's
First day in Rome.
Rome is really cool. It's beautiful. I love it. I want to come here and just come here tons, and it's wonderful. I love it.
How are you feeling right now?
A lot better than I did at Disney World on the It's a Small World ride.
Are you tired though?
No, I'm not at all.
Great.
I had lots of ice cream. It's great.
Hey, Andrew.
Hey, Jess. Ready?
your mom.
All right. Give me the scoop, Ashley. We've been in Rome for a day.
What?
What are we feeling like right now?
My stomach hurts from the plane ride because there was lots of turbulence, and AJ's deaf in one ear. I just want to go eat, and I hope I like the food. Yeah. I bought shoes.
Jesse?
I'm gross and dirty, and I too bought an
She smells
amazing.
bad too.
Yes, and I bought an amazing African sculpture, which I feel I bargained pretty well. I do need to work on it.
I'm not going to finish this.
Yeah, that's about it.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm feeling fresh and casual.
Well, I brought him.
I'm feeling relaxed.
Are you?
This is our street in Italy. This is us in the morning. There's our tour guide, Rosanna. Say hi, Rosanna.
Hi.
Good morning, Jesse. How are you today? Megan?
Excellent. I'm fine.
I won't. Going today?
Excellent. It's time to start a brand new day. Where's your mailboxes here?
What's it like sleeping?
Yeah. Yeah. How's your room?
It is spectacular.
How's your room?
Violent. Erica's really violent.
Erica, do you have any comments to talk about your violent sleeping nature?
I thought they were at breakfast.
We've missed the Snyders. The question on everybody's mind is, where is Alec Snyder? Don't know.
Just that quote, Mr. Snyder, makes me so mad. He's always gone. Just remember, we'll never dog you when you're not here. Your boy, Ben Webster.
Erica, response? I think the face says it all,
You're
but
such a bad person, Ben.
We got it on tape. I'm not the bad person.
I
I'm
don't
just
care,
pointing out
because you know what? I
your
did
mistake.
say that.
Your mistake. Right there. TBH.
TBH.
Don't call me TBH in Europe,
Hold
okay?
on.
Will it be close-ups of Megan's face? Will it be Jesse's 80s hair?
Or will it just be
Or
Ben?
will it be just lots of Ben?
Or lots of Marsh sleeping in random places?
We find Marsh like
Let's Chris!
Larry has possessed the body of Marsh for the Italian tour.
It's Narcolepsy Chris in all of his
Chris.
narcoleptic glory.
So, get out of this bar because I need to... Oh, Welcome live from
Good morning, it's the Snyders. There's Mrs. Snyder and Mr. Alex Snyder. Good morning.
That was us.
Welcome to Rome. Model UN climbs the stairs of the Vatican. Truly history for every individual here. Tickets to get into the Vatican. Sorry. I thought this would help me see better. It's really not working. But.
No one did anything. I just left them.
I know, I ran in the back.
No, I didn't.
It wasn't on camera phone.
And the lady asked me before when all this was built. The Vatican has a long history. We will visit after the museum the church, which is in this direction. Maybe when coming up, you have noticed the dome in this direction through a glass window. The dome is in this direction, the church is here, and the church was built the first time in the 4th century. AD, of course. So look at such works, you can imagine the richness of such villas, of such houses. When we say villa, we always think at a beautiful garden, large garden where you have a beautiful park.
It's in 2 different directions. Do you see that?
The new church. It was rebuilt, completely rebuilt in the Renaissance time.
between 1506 and 1612, right? Why?
I'm thinking
You
it's
feel
amazing.
holy?
I guess you could say that. It's really, really beautiful. It's hard to describe in words because it's insanely beautiful.
For the Romans, everything was always a sign of the God's will. They have taken this
People who live here, who were born in Rome, and don't even know, never been inside. Didn't realize that everything in their home city is in a history book. Yeah. It's amazing. And I guess it's the same on every Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Hey Giselle, do you have anything to say about it?
It's just like this little sequence is all that is
Stay around. Don't want to.
Coliseum, you know, just walking around here. And yeah, we just got off the forum. It's, you know, just everyday stuff. Walking right down.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't you rather be studying and like going to school and stuff like that?
Yeah, you know, I really miss my chemistry class. I think we better be on a trip in. Gotta get some notes. Yeah, just horses walking down the street.
This is the Coliseum, made famous by Russell Crowe. This sign represents the catacomb.
I want you to. You are.
I am.
Be grown up about
What
it.
would a non-teenager say?
You pick a name.
I would say what?
You pick a name.
Why?
Because.
When that Roman guard stabbed me in my kazunas. Good night, folks.
Bye, Stitches now.
Holy cannoli, I have no...
Let's see. We went to all those places today. We went to Sistine Chapel, the Vatican, all sorts of places. Which place did you like the best?
Probably the ruins that we saw, because then we knew we were in Italy and it was fabulous and we took lots of crazy pictures.
Did it hit you like a ton of bricks when you got
It
there?
hit me like a ton of bricks.
I messed up.
So how do you like the trip so far?
Could you say that?
I think it's good. I am having a fabulous time and I love the whole world.
But especially Italy.
Yes.
Thank you. Corey Sharp's favorite part of the trip is...
I hate everything.
Fighting myself.
Wow! You just...
Come on,
yeah,
Corey.
I just fight myself. I don't know. I still don't feel like I'm here. It's kind of a dream, you know, but I think either the ruins or in one of the chapels. I don't remember which one, with that vine thing, you know, the 4-post thing.
Oh, yeah, we have video on it.
Although the
Lots.
dead people cave
Yeah.
thing was cool too. I don't remember names.
Cool.
Yep.
Any other feelings about the trip so far?
I wish I knew what the everyday people were like now.
Yeah.
We know what they were like before, and besides like the pickpocket people, 'cause that was cool today.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's it.
Cool.
So AJ, what was your favorite part of the trip so far today?
Well, I think the best part of the whole trip, just for me, is being able to walk around and just to see the sights and to just be in Italy. Just to see things that are green and to see things that are worn And to any American architects out there, to see things that haven't been knocked down every 5 years for renovations. In Italy, they keep things fresh and new. It's great.
That was such a...
All right, Megan, what was your favorite part of today and Italy in general?
I'd have to say the ruins.
Yay!
Now, tell me why. Because a lot of people have said that, so
Okay.
you got to justify.
A lot of people.
Okay, when we
Or
were up
one other.
on the big hill looking down, the horizon was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Then when you got down there, you actually felt as if you could have been part of this.
We stepped on Julius Caesar's
Yeah,
dirt.
we learned about Julius Caesar and Aurelius Caesar and all those great guys from ancient Roman time, and we stopped where they stopped, and that's just an amazing feeling.
That's great. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Camera's rolling, buddy. You gotta
He
go.
already fell asleep. It's true.
You have to ask him.
Chris, what was your favorite part of the trip so far?
When I slept.
I'd have to say Sistine Chapel in the Vatican.
And it's
Well, I don't know. We just like see all these pictures all the time in textbooks. And you never actually get the full impact of them until you're there. Except there was a lot of people there. It was kind of crowded, and I don't like people. But otherwise, if the people weren't there, it was the best.
It was the best. Any other comments?
Not really.
Anything you'd like to say? Maybe where we're at?
No.
Oh, okay. There'll be more opportunities for that tomorrow. Thank you. Go. All right, Ben. What was your favorite part of the trip today?
I actually have 3 favorite parts, believe it or not.
Visited like
All right, here we go. Number 1 is when Mr. Snyder and Mrs. Snyder were late for the tour today, and they were all staggering out because they hadn't taken a shower or anything, so they're all Okay, that was funny because he's always like, "Hey, be prompt to class," and then he wasn't here. Number 2 was when all those people on the street, all those Arabic people are like, "Hey, you buy this?" And there was they sold a variety of stuff, which was kind of crazy to see in Italy, fabulous Italy, And then number 3 was what was number 3? Oh yeah, number 3 was I forgot number 3. I'm still caught up in the first 2.
I like where the dead people were, and the catacomb, that's what it's called. The Coliseum was cool, but I love when this lady tried to pickpocket my friends, and I was like, I don't think so, whatever, you don't even know. Because I'm like, no, okay?
Whoa. Oh, we got blessed rosaries.
Oh, we did. Show it. Where's the camera? Get one out.
I don't have one.
Now when somebody says, "Hey, I got a rosary, huh? Look at this," I can say, "Yeah, well, at least
It
mine
was
was blessed by the
Pope."
Or some guy named Pope, whatever they gave it to somebody. Maybe it was just some guy in the street that.
But where was that somebody? In the Vatican. Yeah.
Where were we?
We were in the Vatican.
Hey, can you say Vatican? Because I know I sure as hell was there, and I can say it. Can you?
All right, we're back, and guess what we have? Jesse's got a rosary. Show us. Now hold it still so I can zoom on it.
Right there, that is a picture of Jesus.
This rosary
Yeah,
is
look,
actually
it's
blessed
spreading Pope vibes.
by the Pope.
Pope vibes.
And that jewel in the middle talks about, if I can zoom in on it.
My rosary smells like the Pope.
Wait, hold it still.
I can't. I shake.
The cool thing about the rosaries we got, though, is that they, every couple years they have something, I guess in the Catholic religion, because I'm not Catholic, I'm Episcopalian, but,
I am.
Ben's Catholic. Anyway, they have something called Jubilee, and in 2000 it was Jubilee, and so all the rosaries we got on the little middle, medallion thingy, it says Jubilee 2000. It's really cool. And it's blessed by the Pope, so eat that. Do you have a rosary? Yeah, you probably do. Is it from the Vatican? I don't think so.
Yet again, where are we, ladies and gentlemen? We're in Rome. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. This is one of our chaperones playing with the Bert doll at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah. I'm assuming he's tucked himself.
This is Giselle's sister, looking bright and chipper and showered and ready to go. So, we're ready to go. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm tired, but I'm here. We're gonna eat breakfast in a non-touristy city, hopefully on the way.
Are you excited about today?
I'm excited. I'm excited because Naples is where they have the good pizza, and I've been
My
wanting
hand is
pizza the
shaking,
whole
like-
time. So
Pizza, like a real Italian pizza.
I'm real Italian pizza. Waylon,
Good morning, AJ.
she's looking ready to go.
I'm ready.
Ready for Naples?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Excited?
Miss Whalen is always ready. She always has everything. I'm going to meet her.
Oh.
It's time to start a brand new day. Rise, shine, glory, glory.
Lozano,
Lozano!
There she is, our wonderful tour guide who puts up with all of our...
Stupid questions and stupid American ways.
She's nice and we love her.
Procure coffee shortly.
Getting coffee shortly.
She's all about the coffee, as are we.
Yep.
I want hot chocolate.
March wants to sleep.
Oh, there's Mr. Marsh. Coffee will be tied to him.
Yep.
Who not videotape me right now?
Rise and shine, it's time to start a brand new day.
Get out of here. Get out of here. 2:30 is all I have to say to you. And
Your
it's a really
fault.
stupid
Your
mistake.
fault.
So get the camera out of my face. I'm not dealing with it right now.
Get the camera up.
So yeah, I was trying to tape Erica Bell, but then she got really crabby and mad. You know what? What's her problem? That's all I have to say. I'm a little mad.
I was being real polite to Erica for the first time, and she said, "I can't stand you. I don't want to hear your voice." And I mean, I know.
Nobody cares what you have to say.
Outbursts of Erica.
And it's like the third day. We're
I
already done, okay?
Third day, guys. It is the third day. I did not know that. Thanks, Erica.
I know in my lifetime I've made some bad choices. That's not my fault. I have learned to live with those. But she doesn't care. I mean, I was being nice. And that's all I have to say.
Erica has no comments at this time.
We're waiting for the ferry. We're in the middle of Naples.
And we're stranded.
And we're stranded. Everything's disorganized.
Everything is fantastic. Nap-tastic.
This is Model UN running to the ferry.
A beautiful triumphal arch was added to the castle, representing the triumphal entrance into Naples by the King Alphonse I of Aragon during the Spanish domination of the Aragons. Here we've had dozens of foreign dominations. For a Neapolitan, it is very easy to learn to speak Spanish and French. Okay, come over here, please. Look on the floor, the 12 signs of the zodiac, all in marble, mosaics in marble. Sorry, I must not waste too much time. Please come. Come this way to the beginning. Over there, we go down to the pool.
Okay. We don't want to miss our ferry, right?
That's right. So I'm not going to say anymore.
Hi. I like how all my appearances on the tape are really bad ones. I'm like yelling at somebody. They never get me when I'm laughing or anything like that. It's always when I'm like just bitching. I know, and I'm just like. It's the only time they ever get me is when I'm like.
I just got you rubbing your nose.
Cute people. I don't know.
What do you guys have to say to the camera? Anything?
And AJ's the cameraman, and you're the Latino one.
All right, that's it. Yes, folks, this is Chris Marsh sleeping once again. Hi, Chris.
Oh, I thought you were assisting.
Oh, I just dropped both of them. Sad. Good morning, sunshine.
Shut up, Ben. My favorite thing is being here.
Look at Laura. Fighting with the kids. Laura is making friends on her trip.
Little kid just decked her.
Now she's crying. Look at how cute he is.
Okay.
These kids are nice.
Aren't you a friendly little guy?
Ladies and scared people.
Alright. We can play now cards until one of us is facing.
Hello, everybody. This is everybody after our day today. We all look real tired. Not really.
Hey, can we hear Total Eclipse of the Heart? You are cool, AJ.
Who started it, Miss Whalen?
I didn't start this.
Well, no, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about a certain somebody. Could it be Benjamin Thomas Webster?
Thank you.
Would you like to smile for the camera, or would you like to just say like a bad thing?
You know what? All you ever catch me saying is bad things, so I'm not going to be angry right now.
Meanwhile, while everything's going on with Belle, she's just sleeping.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing is a really breakthrough thing in technology. It's what Erica Bell sees. As you can see, it's all heat. And this is what she's seeing right now. It's the look of the beast. As you can see, it's, whoa, man, jeez, she almost took a bite out of that. Whoa, jeez. Okay, I'm gonna sign off right now because she's getting a little angry and, oh man, no, stop! Ah!
All I know is that Chris had 7 cups of coffee, and that is just godlike.
Hey, anybody want to play chess?
You're the best camera person. You're the best person tape making because you always smile. You don't try to shy away from the camera.
Well, I figured I usually do.
I'm expecting Chloe to like go do your little.
Actually,
Hello.
Yay!
The most important square. All around it, we don't have discovered any private houses, but just public buildings. Of course, right now you must use a little bit your imagination. Otherwise, all around you, you see only stones and ruins. Then let's imagine the forum working like that. Before all the square of the forum was covered by what? 3 hours. And it's also very difficult to see this beautiful road with no groups, with no people. Why Romans they used to put these 3 white stones right here on this point, on the very end of a very central street of Pompeii. That's are using to stop vehicles coming into the forum. Into the forum only pedestrian people, chariot, light vehicles. People and slaves, they used to wash the body into a public fountain, into the sea, or into a river. That's because the tickets to come inside here was quite expensive. In reality, this place was working like our modern country club of today. Roman people, they use this place for relaxing, for socialize with friends, talking about politics, talking about sport. In the last section, which was the cold part, then some steam part with a massage and cold part on the same part. But take a look at this now. This is not a honey, this is not a purified resin, this is a plaster cast for relaxing, for socialize with friends, talking about politics and business. Okay? And yeah, next. Second mistake was to make a new water pipe system of Pompeii lead. You know that we cannot drink a water passing through a lead pipe. Using like today graffiti are young extractions of a new generation. Election. for our text to make publicity. Is all around with an entrance with a door, which they make the house in connection with the summer. Not very rich. Imagine that in Pompeii we have discovered also houses 20 times more large than that one. And we see just a part of this house because the house is... Romans, they used to mix a liquid coming out from a seashell all together with the local flowers of Pompeii. Like this, they have discovered very well the way to make almost all the color. If you look at history, you see almost all the colors. The yellow, the red.
Tell us a little bit about this Pompeii visit we've got going on here.
Well, I'm pretty excited about it. There's a bunch of like Roman stuff all around us. Not Roman stuff because we're not in Rome, but there's a bunch of Pompeian stuff. And there's like a bunch of like cool like walls and stuff like that. I'm kind of mad because I haven't seen any brothels yet with prostitutes, but that's coming up, so.
Thanks, Ben.
You're welcome.
The guy said to imagine, that, the buildings were actually put back together as if they were 2,000 years ago. And if you do, it seems as if you're actually there, and it's pretty interesting.
First day in Rome.
This is a theater. Cool. Alright, this is where
Then the theater is built like that. It's called the Big Theater of Pompeii because just next we have discovered also a small theater where Romans they used to fix in 100 persons. In a theater like this, Romans they go close to 1,700 persons into the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I was looking to see?
The documentary together.
You worked hard to get here.
This is Rosa reporting live from Latino TV. As you can see, there has been a big outbreak of narcolepsy. On our way to Greece, the port, we noticed millions of travelers falling asleep left and right, sleeping on buses, and no open eyes. We show you now. Take a look around.
Mr. Chris Marsh, head of the narcolepsy plan. What are you thinking right now? You put everyone to sleep. What's going on?
Well, I just think it's spreading and we have to stop it. I mean, I don't know what's happening. I mean, I feel cured, but 7 cups of coffee, Italian coffee will do that to me. So.
All right, so that's it. We found the cure. The cure.
All right, the cure. We noticed that not even motor oil coffee can keep these citizens awake. We must help. If you have any new information, feel free to call the bus. Thank you.
Chris, okay, you just beat Chisnell in chess. No one beats Chisnell in chess. How do you feel?
I just want to go sit down now.
Okay, bye. Miss Schultes, how you doing?
I'm just great. I'm glad to be with 9-year-old kids again.
You are so
Yay! Hey, Mrs. Chisnell.
Oh no.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good. You like the trip so far?
Love Pompeii.
Pompeii? What was your favorite?
I love it. Of Pompeii?
Yes.
Oh gosh, the frescoes.
The frescoes?
Yeah, I love them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
My family was quite a cure. Hello, hello.
Hello.
How's your trip going so far?
Oh, so far it's wonderful.
What's your favorite part?
Oh man. Blue Grotto is pretty cool.
Blue Grotto? Mr. Chisnell?
Oh,
Hey,
my
how you
goodness.
doing?
That's dangerous. You know that you could break that?
Great, I'm glad you're happy to be in the camera.
Yeah. Did you test that on anybody? You haven't broke it yet? But you haven't been all the way around yet?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not all the way.
Okay.
Mom, so what was your favorite part of the trip?
Sleeping?
Okay, that was not fun. That was not
Wait, let me think about that.
Pat?
Yes.
What was your favorite part of the trip?
Vatican.
Vatican?
Yes.
You
know, I'll second that.
Any blessed rosaries on your side?
No, I'm not Catholic. Lutheran.
Okay.
So, I did buy a rosary though for a friend.
Excellent. Mrs. Webster?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of the trip?
I think looking out of the balcony in Sorrento, having the ability to see the mountains, the houses, and the bay. That was the most beautiful so far.
Excellent.
Of nature.
Mr. Marsh?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of the trip?
Favorite part of the trip? Being with everyone so far. We're reserving in the final decision until we leave Greece.
Ah. Do you think you like Greece as much as Italy?
I don't know.
I was kind of kind of play it by ear?
Yeah.
All right. Mrs. Marsh?
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
What was your favorite part?
I think yesterday in Capri going to the Blue Grotto.
Definitely.
The Blue Grotto had to be.
Definitely. Truly agree. Chris? I know you like the camera. What was your favorite part?
Beating Chisnell chess.
Oh, that's fabulous. Chisnell, how do you feel about that? Someone beat you.
Ooh, that's a
Hide your tears. Hide your tears. What was your favorite part so far?
My favorite parts of
Italy.
Oh, of Italy.
Not of the chess game.
You know, the part where my queen went to knight's four was
Whoa, dilatory. I rule that dilatory.
Roman Forum had to be one of the things that caught me most. All the other pieces, all the other places I need to go back to.
Oh well, that we're all going back.
Oh,
so.
okay.
That's
When?
20 years down the line.
Oh. Okay.
Same room, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're approaching Bari.
Body?
Bari.
I can't do the Body.
Bari.
Body.
And in this place, they pronounce, in this region, they pronounce the A like an E. So they say Bari. Bari. The Italians say it's Bari. Hey.
Hey, Rosanna!
She said she was okay until. Well, actually, it's okay. She turned it off.
Let me say.
She said it was okay.
Don't do it. No, adesso no.
When Luigi called me professor, he was serious.
Oh, whatever. We're turning this off.
I chose Rosanna because she's Italian, and I think that's just really boss. And as to quote Ferris Bueller, so choice. I saw her take Chisnell on the dance floor, very forceful Italian-like, with those awesome arms of hers and awesome Rosanna style. So, Kathy, even though I like you a lot, you just didn't cut it tonight. Rosanna's got one up on you, and you better move fast if you want to claim the prize. That is Steve Chisnell.
Pick Kathy because economically, it's. She lives closer.
So for distance, I say Kathy, which is no.
My vote is for Kathy. I think they would be cute together.
Okay, well, two both very good choices, very lucky women, to be considered with Professor Chisnell, and I'd have to go with Rosanna.
It is in the cards. You'll see the Queen of Diamonds and the Jack of Diamonds. And how it interferes with the 10. The cards never lie, honey. He's gonna go with Rosanna.
Rosanna, just because she seems to be more tolerable of middle-aged, expanding people who are losing their hair.
Okay, I think Chisnell may have a crush on Rosanna, but I think he's gonna end up with Kathy.
But then we were on the ship, and Rosanna kind of pulled ahead.
I think something's happening. I think it's important, and I'd like to see something happen further this way. So, my choice.
I feel that maybe he should pursue Rosanna. And I really think that I'm going to choose...
This is the Acropolis of Mice now, I think, anyway. The archaeologists know this. Hey, there's Ben, from these two mountains, one right there. The other one right there, which was described by Homer and other various people. Right now we're heading towards the Lion's Gate, which some German dude found in 1850 something, I believe. And then you also discovered some other people. So.
One side of the gate.
What about you?
No, she's talking. Just for a few minutes. Up to a certain
Ooh, notice the
Anyway,
lion.
ladies and gentlemen, that's the very famous Lion's Gate that we talked a little bit about on the bus. And what makes it so significant and so famous is the time when the bodies of the lions and the column in between were, I'm not going to say were made, but created, because it's a real piece of art, and it was probably created not by one single person. It is possible that it was a group of artists that worked on that stone, and the period of time, the century when the monument was made, was 1300 BC. As we see them here, about 2 meters deep. They have to be anything between 1.5 and 2 meters deeper, and it's 6 shafts altogether that Schliemann found, and in those 6 shafts is where he found the 19 skeletons.
The bodies from that burial pit were from 1600 BC. So 1300 BC was from the time of Agamemnon. So which means that he just did it for some reason. Don't know. Alright.
For the independence of Australia. Sorry, you don't really need
Nigeria.
To a special note, we'd like to invite and welcome the unified Lyceum of Agia Nicholas from Crete, as well as the Dondero High School from Detroit, Michigan, who have decided to join us here today. It's very warming to see our Athens Model United Nations expand its horizons outside of Athens.
Και κοινωνίες που χαρακτηρίζονται από αυτά τα ιδανικά, από αυτές τις αρχές, από αυτές τις κατευθύνσεις.
We're privileged to be with you
here this morning, for I have a very deep and a very personal belief in the United Nations. It's safe to say that the United Nations and I have grown up together, for I was born in the year that the UN was established. In fact, the fact that we live in a world which sadly is imperfect is a very self-evident one. But I am absolutely convinced that it would be a far more imperfect world if it wasn't for the United Nations.
Your Excellency, Mrs. Maria Luisa Chavez, Director of the United Nations Information Center, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure for me to be present this morning at the opening of the fourth Model United Nations. The opportunity to address this gathering of students is extremely rewarding for anybody who, like me, takes special interest in the work of the United Nations.
I'm sure it's a great opportunity for all of us to learn about day-to-day of such an international organization as United Nations.
The presence of 250 students who will represent 48 member states of the UN, coming from 45 schools, is truly heartening. It's a record. First, because as you very well know, the United Nations is your United Nations. It was created more than 50 years ago for the peoples of the world.
As it is the only institution capable of meeting global challenges, reacting to crises swiftly and effectively. An instrument which from its constitutional principles has the following goals: to stay existing generations from the scourge of war, to reaffirm faith in fundamental human rights, to establish conditions which can maintain and promote justice and respect for all.
And stress the importance of economic cooperation and economic development in the region of the Commonwealth of Independent States. We have seen some tough times in that region ever since the end of the Cold War, and it is incredibly important to increase investment and increase cooperation, and to increase communications, especially. One of the major problems right now is that there isn't enough communication within the region to help build economic ties. We must remember that when we are talking about economics in the region, and we must remember that a lot of the problems that we face in this region are due to economic
Please
problems.
come to your closing remarks.
I'm finished. I yield to the chair.
Thank you.
The delegation of Singapore would like to commend France on their remarks. Definitely regional organizations are important. Specifically organizations that are similar in cultural beliefs and morals. And so we agree with France on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Georgia, Russia understands your wants and needs. The stability in the CIS as a whole is very questionable, particularly in the Northern Caucasus. Russia is very worried about the situation there as a whole. We hope that stability can be maintained and built up and development to continue on. Georgia also understands Georgia's fears when it comes to terrorists.
Please come to your concluding remarks.
Terrorist threats that is simply not the fault of any government or any citizens within the country. I yield to the chair. Thank you.
Delegates, can we please have order?
Good morning, honorable delegates. Russia, a strong, proud nation with many principles. A country looking for the same opportunities in global society as every other country. The advancements of the Russian people, economic stability, and skills that enable us to make partnerships in the international economy and establish that edge needed to succeed. With the new leader, Russia believes its horizons to be bright. Horizons to be bright and opportunity endless. Our illustrious president...
Order, please. You're very disrespectful to your fellow delegates.
Our illustrious president, Vladimir
noted that the days of a one-man dictatorship are over. It is time for a dictatorship of the law. In a world where cultures, ideals, and views range as greatly as night and day, a systematic solution encouraging and promoting interdependence and increased transparency among states is mandatory. Russia would be honored to open their floodgates by discussing compromises with the hope of creating a stronger bond in the international community. Now is the time for every state to put down their arms of fury and open those arms of acceptance and cooperation. Thank you. I yield the time to the chair. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. In this quickly developing world, the most important thing to Singapore is our identity. Even through technological advancements, our family morals remain strong, a feat we are proud of. In development, specifically technology, slow transitions are important to maintain our identity. Singapore has a very important role in the global community, a strong member of the United Nations, a devoted member of APEC, and founder of FOSS, to name a few. This trend will continue, specifically in organizations of nations similar in beliefs. Honorable delegates representing nations from across the globe, each of your voices represent a child's tears and a parent's worries. On behalf of the Singaporean government, I challenge you to lift your voices, wiping away the tears of not only people in your world, in your nation, but also of people and nations across the global community. Thank you, and I yield my time back to the chair, or the floor. Sorry.
You don't have to be seated. It's just that I'm announcing right now.
Friends, it'll be much more, strong and I don't think
How many are on this? 36? That's not too fast. I am the Model UN pack mule, as you can see.
I believe that winning a subject can be discussed. Sorry, it's my first time in Howard.
Plenty of others that can still be used for the same purpose. Also, but if you wanted to interstate, it would require more amendments. If you guys are probably tired of that.
Since Japan is a country with great power, how can
I was wondering, it has been said that religious intolerance is a serious problem. I was wondering how the Honorable Delegate problem without specifics, for example, funding is not mentioned in this for the programs will entail, isn't called for either.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to commend the body for all their hard work. I think that a lot has been done in this past session, and we should be very proud of that. However, I do have some problems with this resolution. If we look into the UN Charter, Article 8, number 52, subpoint 2, it's referring to regional arrangements, that's what they call it, in here. The members of the United Nations entering into such agreements or every effort to achieve pacific settlement of local disputes through such regional agencies before referring them to the Security Council. And the purpose of me reading this was that in this resolution here, what I'm getting out of it is increased military being forced on countries. Even before that, though, the question is of civil crisis management. In the border, if we all know that if it's a genocide, obviously the UN gets involved through humanitarian rights and
The delegate, please come to our closing remarks.
And organizations like that. I'm kind of questioning if this resolution is kind of making the UN more like an international government, and that's a fear of Singapore. Thank you.
Thank you. Is the delegate open to points of information?
Yes.
The delegate has opened herself up to points of information. Are there any on the floor?
It's honorable delegate making that aware of the fact that in the terms of globalization, the UN would be perfect government.
I don't think that any nation here will agree that we want the UN to be a government for the whole world. I don't think anyone here will think that that's a realistic vision. The UN is a forum of nations to come together and share organizations and to share knowledge, peace, and human rights. The purpose of the UN is not to be a government for the world.
Thank you. Are you open to any more points of information?
Yes.
Russia feels that it is in the best interest of this committee to strike Operative 3 because it is a threat to the international peace. Russia feels that by placing military on the borders of countries, it is, in a way, going to present a problem for another nuclear war.
Thank you. Are you open to points of information?
Yes.
Japan, you have been recognized. Please rise and state your point.
This honorable delegate of Russia, would the honorable delegate of Russia want the civil crisis within a specific country to spread rather than force on the borders of that specific country?
No, I would not, but it is the sovereign right of a country to deal with this problem. And as Singapore has stated previously, it was Article 52, number 2. It says that the country must first, and its regional organization must first deal with the problem before any intervention.
Thank you. Could you please yield the floor back to the chair for the interest of the debate?
Yield the floor back to you.
Thank you.
And I would like, if you have anything to say, or if I'm wrong, I would like you to correct me, so I'm open to points of information.
The delegate has opened herself up to points of information. Russian Federation, of course, you have the floor.
That the operative is applying UN military intervention.
That is correct, but that's the general thing, and I think that to your policy to say such thing, of course, something like that could be amended by not from you, because your policy is rather contradictory.
The conference is going very, very well. Our students are very active, participating well with the Greek students. Our students are getting along very well in terms of working with them, helping them with their English, and just appreciating the fact that the students they are debating against are debating in their second language, whereas we are debating in our first language, and rightly so. We are very impressed with that. The conference organizers are very nice and very helpful. It has been a very positive experience, and the skyline like this, with which to eat our lunch overlooking, I can't say enough as far as how much fun we've had on this trip, and to see us performing well today, or the last couple days, speaks a lot about our students, and it really is a pleasure working with them and to see them performing as they are.
correlated to Clause C by saying if foreign investors come in, it has to be approved. But it's
It's kind of serious. You're right. Did they call you from the airport?
Since the arms are placed in outer space, the arms race begins, and this is something we're trying to prevent.
Where the United Kingdom?
Organizations such as African Unity should all contribute funds to this situation?
Hi. All NGOs are closed. Refers only to related NGOs. It is certain.
The UNHCR to ensure the safe return of refugees. CR is supposed to do that in this specific situation.
The UNHCR is the United Nations Committee and works properly because the United
You mentioned several countries for which this resolution is working, primarily the European Union. Is this resolution working for the wants and needs of Georgia, being that Georgia does not even support this resolution?
I'm sorry.
Delegates, why would you support this resolution? Why? The host country that we are talking about here, Georgia, does not even support it. Georgia is against this resolution, and with good reason. There are holes in this resolution bigger than China. Let's look at it. Let's
Order.
read.
That is out of order. Please continue.
Let's read through this for a second, folks. Let's look at Operative Clause 4. Operative Clause, elaborate Abkhazian school programs to promote Abkhazian culture. Citizens as well. Why are we ignoring the Georgians? Are the Georgian school systems superior to all of those from all of your countries? I seriously come up with these school programs. It says nowhere in this resolution how they will create them. It just says that it'll happen. Doesn't work. That is, it fails in logic. Let's look at another friendly clause of this, shall we? Urges the NGOs and the countries participating in the G17, together with developed nations, which are prepared IG to do so. This is Operative Clause 8. Which NGOs are we talking about? The delegate from China, I guess, assumes that all resolution will automatically know what the authors intended. But we don't. We are all
Please come to
people.
your closing remarks.
We are all people here. We can't just read meanings into it that don't exist. All parties support it. It would be a violation of their sovereignty to
Please
support this.
cease. Thank you. Are you open to any more points of information?
Sure.
Order.
Yes, China, rise.
It's in order for delegate.
Can you please speak up?
It's huge. Today I have told sides about 100 people and to be ironic about my country. I would like your
I didn't hear your word. Can you please?
Is it in order for the delegate to be ironic with my country and assume that they have told society 100 persons?
It was just a comment. I do not find anything to apologize over. Please give the floor back to the chair.
I give the floor back to sir.
Thank you.
Actually, can I yield the floor to Georgia?
That is in order. You may yield the prize to all in the room, including admin staff, delegates, and security staff. Thank you.
Could you please read it to the House? In Clause 8 of this resolution, in operative clause number 8, I decided, I would like to amend it to urges NGOs, regional organizations, and all nations which are prepared to give aid to do so. Have you heard this? Could you please repeat it? Urges NGOs, regional organizations, and all nations which are prepared to give aid to do so. What this does is it gets rid of changing in the G17 together with developed countries, and it makes it so that countries who are able to help and want to help, who don't necessarily fit that exactly, can help, and they can. And this way, it gets rid of financial aid to just aid. We can't just give financial aid. There needs to be some type of maybe humanitarian aid or elsewhere. And I just felt that this clarified it a little bit better, and I think that it opens it to more types of funding that are going to be able to be given, which never hurts. Could you please come to a closing remarks? I'm finished. Okay. Could you please yield the floor back to Chair? I'll yield the floor back to Chair. Thank you.
Somewhat of an improvement on this clause. It simply doesn't do enough, and it doesn't address the main concerns that the Russian Federation has here in this clause. One of the main objections is that NGOs is not specified at all. Regional organizations, that'd be a great source of funding. The only problem is that many regional organizations do not have quite the funds that maybe we're expecting here. Another problem that it's seen with that is that it specifically mentions the G7 nations. Perhaps this clause should be less specific, but that's the general objection that the Russian Federation has.
This amendment, please raise your placard.
Raise them high, please, and keep them up.
Could the honorable delegate please describe to me useful information? Because if a country wanted to spy on another country because they thought that it would be useful, would that be considered a part of the useful information?
I don't think that's right. The Russian delegation cannot understand how this prevents any arms race in the outer space, simply because no space power has voted for it. I don't know how exactly that's going to prevent anything, so that's why we voted no on that. Thank you.
In Singapore, an international police force?
No, I mean that all countries.
Delegate of Costa Rica for holding her without citation with a psychic quote. Second of all, about this amendment, there's a serious flaw in it, and that's how is this international organization going to be organized? Who is going to be in it? Who's going to run it? There's so many serious flaws. There's no point in this amendment unless it addresses these specific issues. It really is. That's why I strongly encourage you to vote against it. I now look at the points of information.
Sure. The United States of America previously said in his speech, this resolution leaves a lot of things undefined, which Russian Federation, even though we weren't in this committee, cannot necessarily agree with. Funding is a big issue. Operative Clause 1 calls for broad-based educational programs, but yet doesn't define where the funds for these programs will come from. Operative Clause number 2, it talks about legal, regulatory, and institutional, what kind of time frame will they be under. Operative Clause number 3 notes that international water resources, specifically shared river systems, which river systems are we talking about here? Should be managed. Managed how? How are they going to be managed? I think there's a lot of room for improvement, and so we can't be in favor of this resolution because it's very, very general. I will accept points of information.
The delegate has opened himself up to points of information. At this time, are there any points of information for this delegate?
There is no way of the fact that in the Environmental Commission we do not have the right to discuss about the funds that we have given in several programs.
The Environmental Committee does have the power to recommend and to suggest and to emphasize where funding should come from, and also to define how they would like to see funding approached and how they would like to see the. I think every committee has the power for funding.
Can you give the floor back to the chair, please?
To commend all of the hard work done in the special committee as well as this DA body. A lot of great work has been done. However, we have some serious issues with this resolution. First of all, on the first page, taking note of the difficulty of regional organizations to deal with civil crises without leaving serious key gaps as a result of their incapability to act actors and the question of cost, mandate, and authority that arise.
We're pressed for time. I'm going to just go very quickly. I think that this resolution is one that is positive on the whole. However, I'd like to direct your attention to operative clauses 2, 3, and 4. What this basically does is it gives the ability for a nation to choose its own destiny. One of the most important basic things that we can enable, give the opportunity for a nation to do is choose, under the supervision of the United Nations, a way for them to address specific problems in human rights.
Order!
The Russian Federation finds this oftentimes as a problem, as the case is usually that human rights are addressed in a general matter. And each country has its own specific issues with human rights that need to be addressed. Therefore, a written plan of action, as is called for in Operative Clause 2, 3, and then the new committee that will actually use those written plans of action to actually achieve a goal, is outlined in Operative Clause 4. This committee will make sure it'll work with nations, not against them, to help them achieve human rights.
Please come to your concluding remarks.
It'll help them to achieve human rights, and is just an overall positive thing, as is the entire resolution. I will accept points of information.
That we're moving towards human rights. What we're seeing right here is people trying to come in and hold other nations accountable without asking for their permission to come in. I'm not seeing anything like that. And sovereignty is a very important issue for Singapore. We feel that it's nobody's right to come into your country and invade. And I'm taking a quote out of Operative 4, hold nations against each other, in Part E. I don't see this as being conducive at all to getting anything done. I see it as causing more problems
Please come to your concluding remarks.
than what it's really worth, and I think that we can come up with something a lot better, and we shouldn't pass this. Thank you.
This resolution just provides for information infrastructures. It's obvious that in certain countries, perhaps the developing countries do not have the information that the UN needs to provide to them. They do not know how to create a prosperous economy. They do not know how to set up humanitarian efforts. So this is what this resolution addresses. Please read it. It has committees from the Department of Public Information, the DPI, to regulate what goes on in each country, so it's fair to all developing and developed nations. A, the expansion of the United Nations information centers in every member state. B, the creation of a fund provided by the International Communication Union for financing the operation of the above centers as part of the Promotion and Public Services Division. And C, the further use of new technologies monitored by the Department of Public Information. Here we have both NGOs provided, funding is provided, we have information infrastructures that are being set up, and it covers all. Please be quiet. I'm serious. Operative
Order!
Operative number 7.
Please.
Yes. I'll just let you know it also provides for multilingual production so that everyone can be involved. This covers everyone, covers all nations. Please be in favor.
Are you open to any points of information?
Yes, I am. Delegates, I can't even hear the delegate. Please stop.
Okay, that is viral, but thank you.
Sorry, I can't hear anything.
At this time. Thank you. Would you yield the floor back to the chair?
Yield the floor back to the chair.
Says boss. I'm just about to take it.
Shut up.